around, y'all come on. Let's go inside.
Hey guys, it's Crystal Chronic with Cannabis Wiki, and I'm here today with Tamara from CannaLily Consulting. Hi, Tamara.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
You enjoying the expo so far?
Yeah, it's been great. We just actually finished a talk about culinary cannabis, and now I'm here to relax and see the vendors and enjoy.
I really enjoyed being part of that demonstration. It tasted absolutely delicious.
Fantastic.
So what is it exactly that you consult? Who do you help?
So my company is called CannaLily Consulting, and I'm a professional sommelier and cannabis educator, and I focus my time on doing quality assessments for cannabis. I'm actually one of the people that was selected to smoke cannabis and rate it and get paid for that through the Allot company, so that's quite exciting. And beyond that, I do brand representation, I do workshops, any opportunity that I have to dispel myths, break down stereotypes, and just spread the gospel about this wonderful plant cannabis and all the ways that it can benefit us and, in fact, everyone in the world.
That's amazing. I love that. And that seems to be the biggest barrier to this industry is just the taboos that are still clouding everything with a bit of judgment. It keeps everybody nervous. Even the consumers that are out there smoking now, they're still nervous about who's going to see them, right?
It's true. It's remarkable. Just yesterday I was smoking, hanging out with a friend in a park, and he said, "Oh my God, the police." I said, "You're not doing anything illegal. It's okay." But we are so conditioned to that, we still have to get to the point where this is okay, this is great, it's a plant, it's natural, it's not an opioid made in a lab that often produces more side effects than the symptoms they're curing in the first place.
I completely agree, but I mean, as a consumer that has smoked since long before it was legal, it's something that's very difficult to get rid of because you just stay hiding so long. You're hiding under that bridge, you're hiding behind the tree, you're looking around your car as you get out.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd not have to do that now. It's just a whole different mindset to get into.
It really is, and I'm a privileged white girl. I'm okay with acknowledging that, but I think for people of color, it's especially difficult because they're used to being far over policed, relative to people who to white people, let's say. So, it's. The hope is that we can continue to move towards changing the overall rhetoric around cannabis such that it's a different conversation. So, sometimes people say to me, "Why do you have to make this so scientific? I just want to get high." And my question is always, but why do you want to get high? For
and
what
don't you
reason?
want to understand it, right?
Exactly. I dare you to go to the LCBO and say, "Hi, I'd like drunk, please," and see what they help you with.
Right.
So, it's really about changing the way that we're talking about cannabis. And the more we can evolve the language, I think that's, steps towards changing the game.
It is a shock to a lot of people, though. I know, I myself am a mother, and so I get judged in that department.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, well, if you smoke, then you must not be very good at, your parental responsibilities.
Right,
and
but if you drank wine every night,
then
no
it
one
be
would
perfectly
blink an
acceptable.
eye.
And I just said that to my spouse the other day. I was like,
Sure.
I'm sitting here and I'm enjoying this amazing tasting joint, but I do feel nervous about putting it on my personal Facebook page with people that are not necessarily all on board, because you just don't know what they're going to say. You don't know what they're going to think. And as much as I'm totally advocating for it, it's a concern. You want everybody to think you are the best, especially when it comes
Sure.
to such a big responsibility like being a mother or being a caregiver for anybody.
And here's my question. Who are they to judge?
Exactly. But
Really?
that's something we got to keep telling ourselves. I find myself, I have to keep telling myself anyways.
Yeah, and if you are someone who drinks a glass of wine every night or whatever vices you have, really just mind your own business. We're going to continue smoking our cannabis whether you like it or not. So consider doing some research, learning about it, and then hopefully you might have some slightly more evolved perspectives about cannabis, and you might stop calling it dope.
That would be wonderful.
Because, dope is dope, but it's not for dopes.
For sure. So I was fortunate enough to be able to be part of a cooking demonstration here. So is that something that you do a lot of?
Definitely. So CannaLily Consulting is my personal company, but I'm also one of the co-founders of the Culinary Cannabis Association. And that is a company that we started to teach people how to cook with cannabis safely, effectively, and legally. So currently, a lot of people have had bad experiences with edibles, maybe they've over-ingested and they don't really have a good sense of the information that they need to make better decisions around cooking with cannabis. So that's the first step, is really arming people with the tools and the information they need to be able to cook and dose their food appropriately. So let's move past the gummies and the cookies. They're great, but we can actually enjoy culinary experiences that are infused with cannabis, and we don't have to get so intoxicated that we've gone loopy. We can just have a nice, enjoyable evening where we relax, and it's wonderful. And you know what? Nobody's going to be hungover the next day.
I know, that is definitely the very best part. No dehydration, no headaches, no migraines,
right.
No puking. You really can't beat that.
No irrational decision making. It's a big one.
Yeah, lots of bonuses for sure. So do you help people get certified then?
We do, yeah. So we offer a full day or 2-day certification program. And then the idea is, once you've been certified by the CCA, the Culinary Cannabis Association, you can begin to engage with your clients in a different way. So for example, let's say you're a chef, you could host a private meal where you invited your friends and family and you cooked a meal for them with cannabis. That's fully legal. As long as nothing is for sale and it's only a matter of sharing, that's totally legal. You could also hire a private chef to come into your home. You could provide them with cannabis and they could cook a meal for you. So
I'm surprised to hear it's only 2 days. What is it that is covered in that amount of time?
So the first day we do more theory. So we talk a lot about growth patterns like indica and sativa. So indica and sativa, not effects experiences. Indica, ouch. Not correct.
That's what I keep telling everyone.
That's right. We talk about terpenes. We actually do a bud dissection where we pick apart pieces of a bud so we can identify a calyx and a stem, a sugar leaf, a pistil, and that really allows people to get a better appreciation of the morphology or the actual structure of the plant. From there, we actually do full-on cooking course where each student gets to cook 2 different dishes. We do both passive and active decarboxylation, and then we talk about terpenes and pairing. So what decisions you might think about or reflect on when you're deciding which cannabis you're going to curate to cook with.
That makes sense. It's a complicated thing though, right?
It is.
So it's just the basics for the 2 days. Do you offer a longer, more in-depth education seminar or something like that?
So not quite yet. We're still just getting our feet wet, and there's been such a high demand for part 1 of the course. We haven't even had time to develop the curriculum for part 2. But I think that what you can expect is in the coming months, we will be developing a part 2 and part 3 and other opportunities for the individuals that we've certified to actually build a community, to collaborate and explore shared successes and opportunities for learning and improvement.
So the lessons are only for like the private consumers. It's not something that is legal right now in Canada to sell, right? Like as a chef in a restaurant?
So you cannot sell culinary cannabis in restaurants, and you can't really actually sell any sort of infused food currently. But what you can sell is your cooking abilities. So you could, for example, promote yourself as a chef that goes to someone's home, they provide you with cannabis, you cook with it, and then you cook essentially a meal for their guests. That's fully legal.
Okay.
So there's lots of wiggle room. It's just around working within the confines that we have to work with, and also being mindful that things will continue to change. We're just less than a year into legalization, so the hope is as time passes, we will see more development in what we're offering and the way that we're meeting the client and the customer's needs.
And where do you offer these courses right now?
So they're all over Toronto, and we've also offered a course in Hamilton and Vancouver. We'll be going to Montreal, Edmonton, Winnipeg, and a number of other provinces and cities around Canada. So stay tuned for that.
That sounds exciting. I think I'm going to be seeing a lot more of you
I
around.
Sure hope so.
So what would you say is your favorite part about your job and just being involved in the cannabis industry?
Well, firstly, I love cannabis. I love smoking it, I love studying it, I love interacting with it, I love teaching about it. So it's quite a privilege to be in this sector. I think the other thing that really inspires my passion is the fact that cannabis has really infinite capacity to improve the world, and it has a lot of untapped potential. As an example, we've just learned about flavonoids, canflavin A and B, and how they have anti-inflammatory properties that are 300 times that of aspirin. That's pretty substantial.
There's quite a bit we still don't understand.
Exactly. So there's all this untapped potential, and that's really exciting for the way that it could, help cure diseases, help improve quality of life. Even, I think every single legal cannabis product should have to be made using hemp packaging. Why aren't we doing things like that? So there's all these opportunities for really changing the game in every way, from packaging to the quality of the flower to cooking and everything in between.
I think it's totally possible. We were told Lego's taking on hemp, so
I'll believe it when I see it.
It's going to be fantastic to see the changes. And for anybody that wanted to get a hold of you for either certification or for consulting, where can they find you?
So, CannaLily Consulting is my company. You can reach me at CannaLily, CannaLily.ca, or cannalily.consulting@gmail.com. With the Culinary Cannabis Association, it's just culinarykcannabisassociation.com, and you can find all the information there.
All right, perfect. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes for us. We really appreciate it, and hope you enjoy the rest of the expo.
Thanks so much. Lovely chatting with you.
You too. This is a Cannabis Wiki exclusive from the GrowUp Conference and Expo in Niagara Falls, Ontario. If you like this video and want to see more just like it, check us out at www.cannabis.wiki.